Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of TerraVentures. We're back here outside the Under the Sea shop by Antarctic. Now this is a shop that I co-own with what is his name? TYS or Tice 205 and Morbid Panda, who you may have seen in the last episode rebuilding or finishing up this shop. Now we've got ourselves quite a few barrels in here, and since I've got quite a bit of stock back at my base, filling up with all the prismarine variants, I think I'm going to go start stocking up this shop. Now, of course, we need to determine all the prices. So what we're going to do there is put a sign on top of it, say, up here, and say dark prismarine, say 1 stack for 2 diamonds or something like that. So we've just got to get back to my base, which is a fair distance off, and get all that stuff ready. And of course, we'll probably make a few trips to the Guardian farm, do a few AFK sessions there, and get a lot of stuff, because I'm hoping this shop will be one of our biggest earners, given that it is, I believe we're one of the few places to have a Guardian farm. So anyone who wants to build with Guardian farm with stuff, prismarine and all that, that will be the shop for you. As you can see, I'm not exactly rolling in prismarine myself. I did fill up my storage chests with all this stuff when we first got the Guardian farm, but I haven't really used the thing, and I might need to figure out a place to use it. Now, of course, this means we're going to have to go back to the Guardian farm and probably do a few AFK sessions there, which I'll probably show you how to do for anyone who's watching this video, and on the realm, of course, who isn't quite aware of that. But that will have to come after I start dumping this stuff into our storage system, and not our storage system. What do you call it? Our shop back at the base. And when I say base, I mean the shopping district, which is over there. Okay, we're back, and we've got half a stack of 12 half stacks, which I'm going to do here. So if we do we need to say sea lanterns, so people know what stuff is in here. Sea lanterns, and then half a stack equals 1. No, let's put the equals in the next line, first line, equals 1 diamond. And I did have a bit of trouble actually getting this to stay, so there we go. Sea lanterns, 1 stack equals, so half a stack equals 1 diamond. Then we have prismarine bricks. And then we'll put these at 1 stack for a diamond, equals 1 diamond. And what else is there? Prismarine bricks and just regular prismarine. Prismarine for 1 stack equals 1 diamond. Now I'm sure these prices will change at some point, because these I'm just making up the prices for just temporarily. We don't want the sign there. So I'm sure the Antarctic crew will figure out exactly what we want the prices to be. So these prices are subject to change. Now, at some point, we are going to be selling access to our Guardian farm only for experience. Now, the passes are going to come like this. So it's just going to be an iron ingot, whatever, with a Season 2 TerraVentures owner pass. We dump the pass in here, press the button, and go through. And then we pick up the pass here, like so. And we're in. Now, of course, when you're going to have splash potions of harming or splash potions of harming 2. You stand here or back here as you wish, throw the potions in here, and of course they will kill off guardians. Be careful not to die yourself. Now, back here is private only, so only myself and Tyson Panda will be able to get in here, because this is where we have our stock for our Guardian farm, and of course my own fish supplies. So there's quite a bit of junk in here, like bows, a couple of arrows and whatnot, and those would come from the random mobs that spawn in the Guardian farm. But that's less important right now. What is important is getting rid of all these materials in here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start breaking these chests, so that will give me a whole supply of materials. And there we go. That's quite a lot of things. Now here we can just stand here, make our bricks, and we don't have a lot of room in our inventory, so we will put the shulker boxes back up here, stand back down here, pick up more stuff, and start producing. So this will take a while, and I will need to go back and forth, dump the prismarine into here. And why do I only have shards in my... That's annoying. Anyway, so sea lanterns use quite a bit, and I need to be careful to make sure that I do not run my inventory out of room while I'm doing this. That didn't take very long, and as you can see, we've now got quite a bit more sea lanterns. That is mainly because if you look in the recipes, they are the only one that actually require the prismarine crystals, or at least that's as far as I know. And we tend to see, for some reason, have a lot more crystals than shards. So that is a little bit of a problem. That's probably why I probably should have made a lot more sea lanterns. But anyway, so we've got quite a bit more prismarine, a bit more prismarine bricks, and a whole stack more prismarine sea lanterns. So that is going to go straight into the shop, and I've got a little bit of spare stuff in here, which I'll try and stock up the shop, of course, with. And there we go, the shops is now stocked up a little bit more. 12 stacks are there. We've got 9 stacks in here, and we have 18, 20, 19, 20, 22 stacks in here. Now I anticipate we'll be needing a lot more sea lanterns to sell, and that it will probably be our best seller material, given that I particularly like sea lanterns to build with. If you have seen my most recent episode, 16 I believe it is, where I use sea lanterns in my trading station, which still needs quite a bit of work, but that will be quite a good seller, I hope, and it is now open for business, although by the time this episode releases, it'll be 2 or 3 weeks since it actually opened, so hopefully by the time you're watching this, we've actually done quite a bit of business in there. Now this is my other shop, no stock sold here. And for my third shop, or the one that I own by myself, the shulker box shop, we've done quite a roaring trade in shulker boxes. We had 27 plus a bit more when we first opened, and we've just sold another 2. It's quite nice that people are using my shop instead of the one over here, which also sells shulker boxes. And I believe the roller who owns this shop and I actually had a bit of a a price war, where I originally had the lower price, and then when he opened, he lowered his prices. So on the very day that his shop opened, I actually lowered my own prices, and a couple of days later he lowered his. So his are actually slightly better if you're buying 1, but mine are better per shulker box price if you're buying 2. Actually, in fact, we'll just investigate whether his prices are better than mine at the moment. So at the moment, I think I'm selling 6 for 1 shulker box and 10 for 2, 10 diamonds that is. Where's his? And his is selling at 5 diamonds each. So if you buy 1 at here, it's cheaper, which I probably shouldn't say that since that's probably going to cut my own business. But if you buy 2, it sounds better at mine, especially since it stopped raining. That's annoying. Where was I? So if you buy 2 at mine, it's actually the same price, 10, but it sounds cheaper since you're getting a discount at mine. But that's just a little bit of price shenanigans. Now that we're back at my base, you can see that I've filled in this center console, or whatever you like to call it, with some villagers. They are now I think they're all leather workers. And one problem I did find is that with the breeder over there, when the villagers would come back over here, they'd either choose the profession as butchers, which meant they were choosing a smoker, and of course I've got smokers in here. I've since removed those since I don't use smokers that often. They were also picking farmer because of course this building here relies on composters to work, so I've removed all the composters in here, and I think the farmers are still busily working in there, which is a little bit odd, but I'm not complaining. If it is a bug, then it's a very useful bug for the time being. Now, what I also need to do in here is, build the outside, because this building looks rather ugly without the outside bit, and of course I'm going to build a skyscraper around it. I also need to get quite a few more villagers. My villager breeder is actually rather slow at the moment, which is a little annoying. Then again, that's the reason why I chose it. It's slower than the other types, and I don't need thousands and thousands of villagers. I also need to figure out how I'm going to get all the farmer villager types, because I want all 4 of the first trade. If you look in a farmer villager, their first trade is either beetroot, wheat, carrots, or potatoes. It's one of those 4, not all 4 at the same time. So what I want is, say, 8 or so farmer villagers with beetroot, then 8 with wheat, 8 with carrots, 8 with potatoes, and so on and so forth. Although actually that's all of them. So anyway, so I want to get at least 24 more villagers with all that kind of material. So quite a lot more work. And of course I'll use composters, which I need to slot in and get that stuff. One thing I have noticed is that I've traded with these fishermen a little bit and gotten about 26 emerald blocks. However, I have since taken the bed away because I was trying to use the bed to get these guys to link up and to change their profession, which they now have. However, I have now seen that some of these guys aren't resetting their trades. Now, I'll be the first to admit I know very little about how these kind of things work, so I'm not sure if they need the bed to change their profession. Not change the profession. If they need the bed to reset their trades. As you can see, these guys all those two haven't reset their trade, and I think these three down here have not reset their trades. That guy now has. Now, it could be that you just need the one bed in the area to reset the trades and all that. So, yeah, I'm going to have to do a little bit of research onto that. I do not want to have many beds, so someone is going to suggest that no, that can't happen, especially because these guys up here need to be able to continue farming. So, and I do not want to have many beds, because that will mean cats will start spawning and golems will start spawning, and I'm going to have to start killing those off. And I won't be able to kill the golem by a sword, because then these guys won't trade with me. So just a little bit of a conundrum what I need to do here. So a little bit of research, and hopefully I can come back with a solution that doesn't require lots of beds. Well, I've done a little bit of investigation, and it turns out that villagers do not need the beds to restock. So somehow these villagers have now disconnected from their particular barrel, which is really annoying. And these three are connected once again, but these two down here, this one here, and these two down here are all connected to a different barrel than is their own. So I'm guessing the only way to fix that would be to destroy every barrel and restart it, or at least destroy the three that aren't the. Let me see, not these three. So there's 7, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 odd barrels that aren't actually connected to a villager, which is really annoying. And the same with these guys over here. These 3. Oh, no, that guy's now changed. And this guy's back. Let me see. Have these guys changed? Okay, well that's alright. These two haven't, which is okay. This is weird. I just traded with these guys down here, the bottom two, or at least there, and now these ones are not fixed. It's really a bit of a problem, and I'm not sure how to fix it, other than the barrels, destroying the barrels, because that guy definitely was locked earlier. Now he's unlocked. Okay, so a little bit of a things to work out. Well, after about a day or so, I finally figured out what was wrong with these guys. It turns out that these villagers somehow disconnected from their trading station, and then they re-linked to another one. So, for example, this guy might have been linked down to this trading station. So I tried a couple of things. One of the things that was suggested was to just break the villager station and then re-link, but that didn't seem to get a consistent result. I mean, I suppose I could have just kept breaking and re-linking. These guys would have been a real problem. What I ended up doing was just breaking the block in front of these guys so they could start trying to get to their correct trading station, because they seem to like hovering around it. And then, so I did that a few times, and it finally linked up correctly. So thankfully, after about 24 hours or so of pain and trying to figure out exactly what was wrong, these guys have finally got their correct trading station back. So I can start dumping a lot more leather for these guys and fish for these people over here, and I can get those emeralds. Well, fixing up these guys took a little bit longer than I thought they would. They're being very impolite though, just turning their backs on me forever. Although I suppose they're very focused on their work, which may or may not be a good thing. Anyway, the villager breeder is still going, albeit extremely slowly. These guys have now gotten out. This guy was originally a cleric, and he switched over to a blacksmith, and is now once again unemployed. So what I think I'm going to do now, what I need to do now is just plop down a brewing stand. Hopefully he recognizes it and changes to what do you call it, a cleric, and I just break that block, and he should go straight into it. It might take a little bit of shenaniganing it around, or moving him around to make sure he connects to it. And I need to make sure that these guys over here don't change their profession or don't change their workstation block. So hopefully that guy recognizes this. Oh no, that's not right. He recognizes this brewing stand here. I might need to put a bed down. Let's just plop it there. If he recognizes it, that's good. We'll just put down our other brewing stands down here, because I'm going to have these guys all as clerics, which will supply me with a lot of either bottles of enchanting, or get rid of lots and lots of what other things they do. Actually, we've got a cleric over here. Let's have a look at what the clerics do, because all this stuff is kind of new to me. I rarely build trading stations. So at the top they give rotten flesh or emeralds, or they can give me redstone, which would be useful, gold, which I actually want to buy, not sell, and lapis, buy lapis, which is sort of useful, I guess. So what I need to do here is build a whole stack of cleric villages, and then start work on the bubble columns to go up as well to the next level, and start working on the farmer villages, which will be a little bit harder than these guys here. Alright, these guys now seem to have selected their workstations, which is really good, and I've once again locked their trades. If you're wondering how to lock the trade, it's just simply trade with them. So in this case, I'm trading rotten flesh for an emerald, and I probably should stack it there, so that now will lock the trade down. So this guy will never not become a cleric. He'll always stay as a cleric, I should say, and the same with this guy here. Now I do need another, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more clerics, and that should come pretty quickly, or we hope will come pretty quickly, from my villager breeder, which isn't actually the fastest thing in the world. I have noticed that it tends to go a little bit slow at sometimes, and for days on end, that is Minecraft days, will simply not work. Now if we come around here, after I finish eating, there should be villagers in here, but there aren't, which is a little bit strange and a little bit annoying as well. I can't quite figure out how to keep it working, because if you look, they are completely full of bread, and I should jump up to collect it. So there's not much I can do to make it a little bit faster, other than just sit here and wait. I suppose I have tried breaking the beds a few times and resetting them, which does seem to work occasionally, but all in all, this is a pretty poor and a pretty slow breeder in my opinion. Well, I've just logged back into the server after a good night's sleep, and I've just noticed that there's a whole stack of iron blocks over here. Now, I was informed on Discord that I had been left a present because someone did trade with my villagers, which I'm totally happy with. It's completely fine, especially since they've reset all their trades, and thankfully all good. Let's just get rid of these mushrooms. So let's just have a quick look over here. And looks like someone else has put a little lectern there. We'll get that in a second. It turns out, looks like our present is a whole stack of beacons with all 5 buffs, or 5 of the buffs anyway. What is it? It's speed, haste, jump, resistance, and strength. So I may change that up a little bit, because I may need to move one of them to where one of my future projects, which is a tree farm. So I'm going to have haste 2 there, along with a super powered axe. That way I can chop through a whole lot of trees really, really, really fast. But thank you, I believe it's Waffly Egg who put that in, so thank you very much. Now we're going to go over to our, and yeah, you might notice I also got rid of all the cauldrons here, because they were messing up the linkage of these trading stations. But anyway, let's have a quick look at this. So, making use of the lectern. Congratulations, you have been chosen to go on a quest for buried treasure. Spelled wrong. You go to X1538, Y64, Z3199 to see what prizes await and to claim your treasure. Let's take that book. Hopefully it went to my inventory. Yep. And we'll just head over there now. And we're here at the buried treasure, and it's pretty obvious where it is. Congratulations, you, I suppose that means I have found the buried treasure. I don't like the look of this. Maybe I should, where's my shovel? I should dig around it and make sure that it's not just a trap leading into lava or something, because that would not be good, given that I've got all my good tools on me and all my tools on me, and quite a bit of other things that I can't lose. but whoever this is has certainly buried it quite deep. So let's just quickly dig around, and we'll try and put this back in case any other people have been chosen as well, and that if we're the first to find it. This could be a bit of a trouble. I hope not. You know, the golden rule, of course, is never dig straight down, and this is... Oh, look, iron. This could be a disaster if I was actually digging straight down. Come on. Surely it can't be that deep. And surely it is. Wow. Wow. Just wow. I should have known that was going to happen. Where's some bucket? I do have a bucket of water. I am going to dump that sandstone in there. And that tree, I don't need that, and I don't need those, because what we can do is get that, and these things didn't actually drop off. What we can do is drop off these things. Can't dump the past in there. Let's dump off what I don't need, get in there, and pick up some lava for ourselves. Well, I have managed to get down there. If you look in my inventory there, I've now got 3 buckets of lava. I started out with 1, so whoever did this has really thought ahead and made sure that there's absolutely no way I'm getting out of it. That said, I could probably, if I was to jump in, I probably could survive it for a bit, because I do have fire resistance on all my armor. So let's just... What we can do is make sure we can get out quickly. In fact, actually, now what we'll do is leave it, because I think that's going to go quite a ways down. And where's some other things? We'll just pillar back up and change the sign so it says something like dig down at your peril, or something like that. So it's pretty and we'll have to use some sand. I think we're quite a ways down, but that should be fine. Yes, what I am thinking now is that yes, while we do allow pranks on the server, I don't particularly like I'm not particularly fond of pranks that result in death. So that might be a little bit annoying. So what we'll do is we'll just try and make it look like this hasn't been disturbed. Although I am going to need to get some netherrack, because that was on top of it. And let's see, it's on this next to the quartz slab. So we'll just change the sign to congratulations. Fiery buried treasure beneath. And that should warn people. I'm not sure if that's how you spell fiery, but anyway, fiery buried treasure beneath, and that should warn people that they should be just a little bit more careful about leaving someone to die in lava. But anyway, that is all I've got time for today, and I'm flying back to my base, hopefully, if I can figure out the right way to go. So I've hoped you've liked this episode of TerraVentures, and remember to leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to keep watching out for the next one. I know this one was a bit of an all over the place one, and I don't know where I'm going, so I'll go back to first person. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed it, and yeah, keep watching for the next ones.